All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then if you see me looking over, I'm admitting people into the session. And at any time, feel free to put anything in the chat. I'm going to pull it up over here so that I can glance over and see if you have a question or whatever. But I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite tools, which is Thinglink. And I don't know if any of you have even played with it before, but if not, we're going to take a little peek at it, look at an example to start out with, and then move into the how-tos. And I actually think this will be a fairly brief session overall. So the first thing is to tell you that the Thinglink site is where I am right now. I'm not logged in because I just kind of want to show you the process. But it's just thinglink.com. And here is the name of the tool, Thinglink, just exactly what it sounds like. So thinglink.com, or you could just Google it. But anyway, I'm going to go up here to the corner and select Login. And it will land on the dashboard, and it has recognized where I have logged in previously. Obviously, what you guys will do is you're going to put in the email and a password that you want to use with Thinglink. I always use, just as a tip in case you all don't do this, I always use my Fayette County email, and then I have sort of a generic password that I use on educational websites, assuming they don't require me to use the entire Fayette County login. And this is stuff that if somebody broke in and tried to steal my stuff or whatever, it's not the end of the world, so I don't treat it with the same degree of security that I do a lot of things. But anyway, right now you are looking at my dashboard in Thinglink, and you can see these are previous items and things that I have worked on. And I'm going to start by showing you an example, because I think the best thing is for you to understand what can Thinglink be and what does it look like before we ever go build it. And so I'm going to start with an artifact. This is actually an item. I'm working on something called ISTE certification, and we had to turn in an artifact describing some of the practice we do and so forth. And I actually used Adobe Spark to kind of put these images together. But you may notice on these images there are these green circles in different places here. And what these are hotspots. I uploaded an image, and then as a user, or in this case, maybe pretend like I'm a student at the moment, if you click on that, that hotspot will pop up. And the thing about it is you can put text in, you can put links out to websites, you can add documents, you can put a lot of good stuff here in these hotspots. So in this case, it introduces what this Thinglink is. And I'm actually talking about my use of Adobe Spark Video. And it goes on and says, you know, like with Adobe Spark, users can, and I give an explanation about it. I cite. So this was really just a pop-up, a hotspot of information about Adobe Spark, and I've included a link to it here. If I go to my second hotspot and select it, it says Model for Colleagues, and it says if there are issues, use this link. Well, as you can see, I've created a Vocaroo recording with an audio explanation. I'll click on it. I don't know that it will pick up the audio since I'm on my headphones. It probably won't, but at least you can see how it pops out. It goes to the audio link, and ideally, it does work, but I think my headphones will prevent you from hearing it. So I'm going to go ahead and close that and go back to the Thinglink. I'm going to scroll up or down. Where's my number 3 go? Here it is. So to number 3, the hotspot, it says another Vocaroo recording here with a link out to it. Number 4 is a description, and then it has a link out to something. So here's a link out to it. And if I come back to the Thinglink, close that, I'm going to scroll up, and number 5, another description, but it has a video. So yes, you can also attach videos to your Thinglink. And once again, it's not going to play the audio. So here's the Sea Turtles item coming up so that the user can access it. And then last of all, see, I've uploaded an infographic here and attached it to my hotspot, my pop-up here. And I've even got click this button to view a larger image. So now that you have a little bit of a feel for what a Thinglink is, let's talk about it with regard to students. It's a way for you to deliver content to the student, but in a bit more of an interactive way. You can use images, like I have done here, where I took an image, I made an Adobe Spark collage, and I added my hotspots throughout the image. However, you could also put a video up here. You're allowed to do that as well. So it's a really great way to deliver content to your kids, make it a little bit more engaging and interactive. And for teachers, the Thinglink's offering to teachers what you get with this, why am I blanking on this word? I have no idea, but you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty robust. Here's the thing, though, about students. It used to be that students, as long as the teacher created a class and gave students kind of this code and everything, she could bring them in and it was all private, and they gave you quite a robust package. There's one of the words, package, for students to be able to create Thinglinks as well. But Thinglink has taken that away. So now you have to pay for the student portion of it. So it is something, if you want to look into it, you could. But at least the good news is that on the teacher front, that you can deliver a lot of items this way to your students as far as the content itself. And if you really start loving it, then maybe it's something you would like to look into so that students can create. I think the one thing you're really going to see in a minute is just how simple it is to use Thinglink. So I'm going to stop right here and see any questions. No, the hotspots, you could actually, they can be, Tony, they can be little stars. They actually have all kinds of little icons you can choose from, and you'll see that when we go in here in just a minute. Any other questions before I move on? And I see we had 2 or 3 people. I admitted you just now joined. So you might want to take a moment, look at the screen here if you just got in here. This is an example of a Thinglink, and it's a collage that I put together of different pictures, and it has hotspots. And with those hotspots, the kids can click and they can interact with whatever it is you're delivering to them. You can deliver text to them. You can deliver videos to them. You can deliver links out to articles and websites. You can upload documents and items if you would like to. It gives you a fair amount of information that you can share with the students in quite the interactive way. So I'm kind of just doing a little brief little idea for you. I've got audio links here as well where I use Vocaroo. All right, so I want to get our new folks here caught up a little bit. So what's involved with creating? So I'm going to go back here to Thinglink, to my dashboard. And this is obviously, as I said before, these are previous projects that have been worked on. But let's look at the kind of the little toolbar across the top. And you can see it's got My Media, which is really where we are, Explore, Courses, but My Students, and Create. We're going to be operating right here for the moment in the Create because I'm going to show you how to make a Thinglink. So first of all, these are the options for you as far as what can be like, I kind of call it the base item, because you're giving them this object, right? And then you're laying the hotspots over top of that object. So is your object an image? Is it a video? Which one do you want it to be? I am going to go with upload an image for the time being. And I've got little notes over here so I can find where I kind of have a theme for my Thinglink today. All right, so I decided, I've been talking to several of my foreign language teachers in the last little bit. So I have decided that we are in Spanish class and we are looking at culture in Mexico, Spanish culture, and in particular talking about foods. All right, so here's the image. Here's your base item. It could be a video if you wanted to add that. But you'll see over here it has things like add tag, settings, and done. We're really going to be operating right here and add tag. All right, so it says add tag. All right, so it's going to default to that middle. So if you have a specific place that you want the tag, all right, it may have to make me drag it around first. Let's see if it's going to, yeah, it's going to let me drag it. All right, so I'm like, okay, I want my first hotspot here, and I'm going to add some text and media. All right, so we get the controls, the settings really for this particular tag. So Tony, here's where you can change that icon right here. So if I go up here and click on the arrow, these are the various items that you can select from to change your icon. So that's where I got those numbers right there. A lot of people will probably go with something like this or maybe this kind of button, but you can select it and then it will give you some color options. And so if we go, let's say we're going to use a very colorful item there. I'll go with the green. I can add a title. So I'm going to call this Overview of San Juan Market. And if I were a Spanish teacher, I would probably put the whole thing and so forth. It is upload audio. If you see that right here, Tony. I'm trying to think the paid version, and don't hold me to this. I wonder if I haven't looked at the paid version in a while, and I'm wondering if you can record on the spot in the paid. So don't hold me to that, but you can upload the audio. And that's where I went out and just used a really quick little Vocaroo and attached the link to the Vocaroo, as you saw. So anyway, we have an overview of the San Juan market, and I might say markets are an important part of the culture of Mexico. And if I have any foreign language teachers in here, please do not, hold on, let me get my link. If I get something wrong, please don't hold that against me. All right, copy link URL. All right, so what is the button? What's the URL going to be? I'm going to paste it in. I could put the link out to the video right there, so you can see it links it out. But if I don't want to do that, I could add the video here. But honestly, I think you're best off. Most of us are going to be living in the world where we're linking out to YouTube instead of uploading. So I'm going to put that. As soon as you put text or a link or something like that, all right, perfect, Charity. don't judge me. You also get the option now to put a button text. So you might say, I don't know, video about market. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm done at this point, okay? So I'm going to say done. And so now on my item, this is what's going to pop up. And then ideally what will happen is it will go out to that video. And for those that are brand new, you're not going to hear the audio because of my headphone situation, but you can see how it links out. So think about the student experiencing that where they just come out and you give them this finished item and they can interact with it. So let's say we want to add our next tag. It used to be you could click and place, and now it's drag. They probably changed that recently. All right, so let's say I see some cucumbers right here. So let's say we want to highlight that cucumber. And what I have is an audio link. I'm going to grab that. All right. So text and media really, guys, is where you're going to live most often. So I'm going to go ahead and select that same icon. I personally like to keep my icons consistent on an item, on a Thinglink. And so I might say Spanish translation of cucumber, if I got that right. And, you know, I could say click on the link to listen to the Spanish pronunciation. Sure thing, pronunciation of cucumber. All right, I'm not worried because people are going to see this on our YouTube channel, so I'm being a little more worried about it. But I hope I got it right here. Let's see. Of course, I went out there. It's been a long time since I've had Spanish. So anyway, click to listen. So do you see what happens? What I'm writing over here is then appearing in here. So you can view this to see if this is how you want it to appear to students. All right. So you can go back over here and change. You might say, oh, my goodness, I wanted that all capitalized or something of that nature. Okay. I'm going to say done. And so now, do you know what though? Hold on a second. Let's do that. Okay, I did put it in. Let's see what it does. And so it's going to go out. And you're right. See, you would be right because you teach Spanish. So I'm just proud of myself that I made sure that was accurate. So it is El Pepino. And so, which, you know, my pronunciation too. All right, so I'm going to add another tag. What I've tried to do is I've tried to grab some different items here so you could see like a video, a link, the audio link, and so forth. So here is a link out. Oh, excuse me. Hold on.
So, Paula, you put the URL. I was trying to look at it quick enough. You put the URL, and then you put on there what you want, though. It like click to listen. You put what you want the button basically to say, and you put the URL below that, right?
Well, when you type in the URL over there on that left sidebar, Thinglink will place it inside the pop-up, but you got to name the button, so you can make the button be whatever you want it to be. Okay. You can make it a Spanish word and so forth, although I'm not sure about all the accents, so you'd have to test that and how that would be. And as I said, I mean, really and truly, you can embed something from a website if you have it. You could add a text label, and so that would be, you could do that. Look how simple it is. So I could add a text label, drag this to where I want it, and maybe I just add scales, and maybe I'll put the Spanish word, and I don't have that with me. So you could do that, and you could just see how it will label it right there. But honestly, most of the time, you are going to be living in the add text to media area, I believe. So I'm going to go and add another text, or tag, I'm sorry. And so we're going to change the icon, because I do like to be consistent. But just to show anybody that may have come in late, you can play around. Oh my gosh, I love Thinglink. I'm going to choose the green again. I'm going to say this is my life spent in Mexico City's food markets. I think this is a great way to get the kids exploring, and you're delivering the content, but you're organizing them rather than giving them a series of just links to click on, which really and truly, it's kind of what we're doing. I mean, you could paste that in Canvas or Classroom, but how much more fun is it for them to interact with this image? I just love it. So I might say article about markets. Okay. Oops. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say done. And maybe I want to drag it over here all the way a little bit because I don't want it on one of these items. All right. So far we've done, now we've added an article, and let's take a look about what that looks like. It says click on it. It's going to pop out to the article. So if you have some Spanish language sites, or for those of us that are teaching other content areas, I know you're getting the idea. I feel like sometimes our special area people don't get all the love. We spend so much in English and math and science and social studies that I don't want people to feel neglected. So anyway, that's that one. All right. And you can also add an image. You can upload something. So if I want to do, hold on a second. I'm going to add text to media. Like I said, most of the time you're living here. And so if I want to, it's going to force me into, first I want to change my icon. I'm going to give it a title. Customer. And instead of a URL, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to upload an image. And let's see where I told myself that I put it. I said I put it in downloads, and I called it Spanish customer. All right. So this time I'm uploading something, okay? So you can upload. My guess would be, though, on video, guys, it's probably got limitations as to the size of video in the free version. I've honestly not even looked at it. I think most people, video kind of, I think, got added later, to be honest, anyway. And so most people use images, but the video is kind of cool. We'll take a look at it in a little bit. Yes, Charity, absolutely. You could put all your personal pictures in there and use that. It would be so much fun for the kids.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I wonder, though, is there, I guess if I wanted to include, let's say I had a picture from a marketplace I was at, and they were handing money over just to give me pesos. So if I had on there, you know, how much, cuánto cuesta esta, no, something, right?
All right.
And thinking on the fly, sorry.
No.
And then I could click on the person, let's say it was me standing there, and I could could I put a link to a document where they would answer, or
Yeah.
a way that they could answer? If
Mm-hmm.
you were the person and they asked you how much, you know, how much, this is how much money, then you can go in there and answer. No, I sound like I'm all over the place, but do you know what I'm trying to ask?
No, I know exactly what you're trying to ask. So let's take, now granted, my picture doesn't line up with what you're describing. Just real quick, guys, I used Adobe Spark to put, I made a little image and I added text, and I hopefully got the correct Spanish word for the noun or the person. And so, but let's say, we'll pretend like you put, like you said, that you're going to ask them a question. So what I would do is either make the title the question, or maybe give it a title and then put the question here. So we'll say, this is my question. And then this URL right here, that's the link that's going to take them to the, now the thing about the document, you could take them to a form to fill out. But if it's a shared document, you want to make sure that your link out to that shared document, that you have the correct sharing permission set up on the other side. Does that make sense? Because if you share a document just that you did and you don't change the permissions, they'll click on it and it'll deny them permission to get to it. So you'd have to give them the ability to edit the document. Okay?
Right.
So just something to keep in mind. And so we could put out that link to a URL. And so let me just grab something over here just in general. Here we go. I'll just grab this just for fun. We'll pop it in. It has nothing to do with Spanish. But then remember, as soon as you paste in that URL link, it's going to give you the ability to now name your button. And you might say document to answer. Obviously, older the kids, they need less. Younger the kids would need more, as far as probably directions and stuff like that until they get used to it. So I'm going to say done. And so now, and I need to drag that on the customer. And I think they're going to understand about the cook. But see, we've now built out a Thinglink with these nice hotspots. And then if that's the link, we'll pretend like that's a Google form or something. But just for, yes, go ahead.
So how do you get a link for a document of a sort of a form and things? How does that work?
Okay.
Like, where do you get that when you want to do that? I don't know how I would do that.
Okay. So I'm going to drag this over for you. I'm in my Google Drive, and I created a form with a quiz on culture. All right. It's actually Central America, but I figured y'all didn't care. All right. So I've got this thing set up, and so I'm going to say send. All right. You need to get it, like in the form, you're going to get a link. And the link automatically recognizes and so forth. However, before I do that, I do need to say this about settings. I just realized. If you really have never shared out from a form or something. First thing I should say is settings. Make sure you have in here what you want. I always tell people, with students, to always collect email addresses. This one, it forces them to use a Fayette County account. You don't get strangers wandering into your item somehow. And it also makes sure you have a kid's name to go with an answer. You know how the kids can answer, and they might put an answer, and you're like, I have no clue who this person is.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to say that. So collect email addresses. Restricted users in Fayette County Public Schools. And guys, most of the time, that's fine. Every now and then we'll have a student. It's very rare, but every now and then you'll have a student that it just will not let them submit on a form. I've had it happen with teachers as well. When that happens, I have to come and check that and let them get in there and put it in. If you want them only to have one response, you would limit to one response. Then you've got some additional items here that you could choose and click Save. And then once you've done that, so settings first, and then you're going to click Send, and you're going to grab that link. And there you go. You're going to copy it, and we'll use it. Hold on, let me drag this out of the way. So if I wanted to come in here, like on this tag, all right? So I'm going to edit that tag. I'm going to strip out what I put in there. All right, and say done. Now, let's see what it does. So see, and then they would pop in and they would answer.
Oh my gosh, that's
isn't that fun? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yes. All right,
I haven't got to go to a lot of the trainings for the forms and all that just yet.
Oh, okay. So this might interest you now that you've seen it. in
Yeah.
relation to Thinglink. Yeah. So yeah, you could literally embed your entire lesson, like your delivery and your assessment, or feedback or whatever, and you could put it in your Thinglink. All right. Yeah. So let me click done. All right. So we've kind of, I'm going to say at this moment, you see, well, before I hit done, we've got some settings here. You can go in and play with some things. Honestly, guys, most of the time I would say just leave that alone, at least at the beginning, and say done. So it's going to come back, and I just admitted 2 people brand new into the session. So guys, if you're new, we have made a Thinglink, and it is, in this case, an image as the backdrop, and then we have added hotspots to that where kids can interact with the material. So it says here, it says Spanish translation of cucumber. Click on the link to listen to the Spanish pronunciation. You will not hear this because of my headphones, but the kids could play the pronunciation and they could hear it in Spanish. And here's another hotspot up in the corner. This case, we've linked up a video that goes talking. Oh, that's where I changed it. Well, now I'm sorry. So guys, I just literally just changed that link as you were coming in. That was a video when we first started. I should have changed to here is what I meant to do. Oh, well. Up here in the corner, we have an article. So in other words, what I have been working with the others on is this idea that you can take this image or a video and you can add these hotspots, but each hotspot can deliver different content. It could deliver articles and videos and documents and forms. You could upload images. You have a ton of stuff that you can bring into your Thinglink. All right. So at this point, we click done. I don't have anything ready for that. Hector, are you talking about the 360 degree tour that you saw? Is that what you're thinking of? If you are, I'm very impressed on that. I think I know what you're talking about. We'll look at it in just a second and see if that's what it was. So when I clicked done, my Thinglink came here. So here's my creation. And I can go back in here on the pencil and edit it if I wish. I have settings that I can select, and it says, okay, here's the image title that I used. Privacy settings, guys, very, very important. Okay, you're not going to be, my organization should just be the paid item. We can't have kids signing in unless we have a data agreement, and that's only going to happen under the paid version. So what I would say is think about your options. Probably unlisted is your best way to go. You will get a link, and if you paste that link into Canvas or Google Classroom, for instance, it's going to be safe. It's secure. Nobody's going to wander into your Thinglink or whatever. You could go public. Think about that, though, in terms of the images you use. You're allowed to use images in terms of fair use in the classroom and stuff, but I mean, it might be something to consider, although I will say this, we have altered the image, so it's probably fine. I just really recommend people, unless you purchase it, and that's where you could get into my organization, I just really recommend you use the unlisted myself. So I'm just going to say save. I'll let you see it. It has some more actions here, and we'll come back to that in a second. But the main thing is I want to show you right now about sharing, okay? So if you click on share, it gives you different options for you to share your Thinglink. Embed media, I find that interesting they make it the first option. I'm going to show you an example of an embedded Thinglink in just a minute. You can take your Thinglink and embed it into your website. You can embed it into Canvas. You are not going to be able to embed it in Google Classroom, but I'm going to show you in a minute what that looks like. Share link, though, is really where most of you are going to probably live, and that's where you can copy out the link, and it's going to take, I'm going to go ahead and copy it. I could have copied it there. And then they've got some other options. You're not going to really probably use most of those. So I'm going to go ahead and put close for now. Let's open up a new tab, paste in the link. Now, it recognizes I'm logged in. Normally, this is going to look a little different if I were logged out. So if I remember at the end, I'll show you what it looks like when it's logged out. Okay. So let's go back to the dashboard, and this is perfect for some of you that came in later. I'm going to, I promised to show you, sorry about that. I promised to show you what it looks like embedded. So I embedded Now, for those that are brand new, at the very beginning, I showed a creation of one of my own Thinglinks, and I took that Thinglink and embedded it into a Canvas classroom. So let me show you what it looks like. Look how nicely it embeds, guys. Canvas users, looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Yep, there it is. So the kids will stay in Canvas. They're connected into the Thinglink. You're controlling. In this case, and Tony, you had asked me about the icons, and if you're new, you can change what your icons look like. I use the numbers in this case because I wanted to direct the viewer into the right sequence of things to go through, and that's why I ended up with the numbers there. But just real quick for people that are Canvas user on the back side, all you have to do is you go in to edit your page. You have to do this. You remember that embed code I showed you first there? You have to grab that embed code, and you cannot paste it right into the page. You have to go into something called HTML editor, and you paste it here. That's what I did right there. So I grabbed that embed code, and I just pasted it right here, click Save, and it brought it right into the front side. Yes, you could do whole math problems absolutely this way. Absolutely. In fact, that would be incredible. And if you do that, please let me know. I'd love to have your example if you'd be willing to share it with me. I always struggle with my math and stuff. All right. So back to share, just to show you what I did in Canvas. See that embed media for Canvas? I copied that, and I popped it into the HTML side of things. And that's how I did it. You can also do this for a Google site, like a website. You can paste in an embed code. It'll embed your Thinglink right there on the page. Classroom does not have an option to embed. I'm trying to think of slides. Can we embed in slides? I have to think about what your workarounds are for Google. All right, so I'm going to close. I kind of thought about the embed code at the last minute and popped it into Canvas, and really wasn't planning on talking a lot about embed code. If I had, I would have thought about Google and been more ready. All right, so I'm going to go back here. So here we are. We've created this. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you see that it's Thinglink. I like to use that as my shortcut back to my dashboard. And here you go. Here is my different artifacts that I have been working on and so forth. And let's create something else. And that way my new folks can see a little bit of the process. So this time I'm going to upload a video, because you can do a video. Let me see what video I said I was going to use here. All right. And I just kind of grabbed something, guys. This is not what I would choose. Obviously, it would be content related and all. But I just thought I'd grab some. So I am, now this, in this case, for the video, you're going to have to upload it, okay? So, and Tony, or not Tony, Hector, was that the tour? Did you happen to notice when I clicked on that? Is that the tour area you were seeing?
No, it's when you click on Add Tag on the blue button.
Uh-huh.
There were 4 options. The bottom one was tour.
Oh, create a tour.
Create a tour.
Okay, okay. All right. That's actually new. Come and get done. We'll see what happens. I'm not really seeing what it does any different. Do you?
I wonder if you need to add a few and it will take you from one to the other one.
Maybe that's what it is. It could be. I haven't played with this, to be honest. This is something I really haven't looked at that much because it is newer. Let's see if I do another. It just changed it. It didn't give me the option to do another one. Well, I'll play with that, Hector, and I'll get back to you on that. We'll see what it is and all. For our new folks, though, here we have our video. So what you can do, oh, that's where I did that. Hold on. I'm going to edit the tag. Hold on. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of my tour. Delete the tag right there. Delete the tag. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take you all where you registered, and I'll go take a look at it and email you about what I found. I had to do that with something else yesterday. Tony, your question about do you have to set the width for Canvas, that was automatic in that case. I didn't have to do anything to it. But in the HTML code, you could actually resize it but I thought it came in pretty nicely myself. But if you found like it's wonky, basically if you bring it in, Canvas will a lot of times auto-adjust a decent amount of things pretty well. All right, so we have our video here. So if we start playing our video, you can stop it at a certain point, like choose your spot. And once again, you can't hear the sound. And you choose the spot where you'd like to do a tag. And so you could choose here to put a tag in and say, and this is kind of coming back, maybe this is a great place to put an interactive, like you put your form and they have to come in and answer and so forth, or you have a document or whatever. And about this scene. All right, you have a good one, Charity. All right, scene. You can put your description in. All right. This is my question. All right. So I'm kind of going, I'm not really treating this as seriously as I was in the others because of the fact that we've kind of walked through this. But if I had a URL to go to, and let me grab something here. Grab a URL. All right. I mean, essentially, at this point, guys, this is the same process as what we went through for an image. It's just that then you'll play the video and there's different points and stuff where you can stop and you can put your little question in. And do you notice down here, did you see this? All right. And these are kind of reflect where those hot spots will be. But this reminds me of yes, I don't know about does it hold until it's answered like Edpuzzle. It does stop. Hold on. All right, did you see me drag it there? Let's see. Oh man, it went back to the front. Shoot. All right, let's hope that we'll let that run. I'm gonna look over here and while that's running, but what it does stop and it pops it up on the screen. I believe. I don't think we have to click the hotspot. Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. No, it does. You do have to click it. So I'm sorry about that. You do have to click the thing. I thought it stopped it. I honestly did. I could have sworn I saw that yesterday and looked at that. All right. So anyway, so I guess it keeps running. And it might be a setting. It also might be something for the premium version, too, for it to stop. But I could have sworn it stopped. It did stop, didn't it, just now? Or is that at the end? Oh, it's the end of the video. Yeah, it's the end. So anyway, I'll look at that one too, Tony, and check into that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and click Done. So you can play with video, and I'll get some answers on stopping the video. And I need to write these two things down so I don't forget. Okay. All right. So if I go back to Thinglink, a couple of things before you go. So what else? Those are the basics, but my media is your stuff. Explore, guys, is pretty cool. This is where other teachers have shared their Thinglinks. And what's neat about it is if you find one you like, you can add it to your media. Not only, now I think the odds of you finding something to use as is probably slim and none. You never know, though. But guess what? If you add it to your media, you can also edit it. Yep, you can make it, turn it into your own Thinglink. So if I say I want to clone it, I say, well, I just want to go ahead and start editing it. I want to make it my own. You've just now copied it and you put it into your own dashboard, your media, and it's now yours. So you can start adding the tags and so forth. So I think that's kind of neat as well. All right, click Done. Go back here. Let me double check any other things I want to show you before we leave. Oh, hold on a second. Go back here. I do want to show you. That's right. All right. Those are your privacy settings right here. There is a thing called Post to Collection. You have the ability to create collections by name, and you can group your content together. So like in math, if you're doing like a certain type of equation, you could have like this is this type of equation and have a grouping of the Thinglinks for that. Then you can have another collection that's a different type of thing that you're studying in math and that type of thing. So I might say, and create. And then you have that, and you have a way to organize. It says it's posted to the Spanish collection. Where did you go? Hold on. Here it is. Okay. I was like, where did it go for a second? So over here on the left, you see you have your collections, and this is the organizational item. So here's the Spanish culture, and then you have a place to send kids, for example, for a collection of all their connected Thinglink. All right. Well, guys, that's kind of the basics of Thinglink. I think it's just a really robust tool for teachers. I think the free version for teachers is pretty extensive. I mean, I don't think it has everything, and I think I'm going to find out maybe on those 1 or 2 questions that that it may be part of the premium package. But, and I'll have to look up Tour, Hector, and check into that. But it's a pretty nice thing. If you were uploading students and had a premium version, you would have the kids here and that type of thing. But it's just a lot of fun. So what questions? Yes, Thinglink is, like I said, Thinglink's not even, to my knowledge, I don't think they, because their teacher access is so extensive. But let me see. I know that back in April, I'm just trying to make sure they didn't like open up the premium version or something. Let me see what they did. That's actually something I had on my list to check on. I just flat out forgot. No, that's a COVID thing. I'll research that too and make sure. I do know that about a month ago they had not offered any kind of special thing because, once again, the teacher version is pretty robust. If you're a teacher and you say you're a teacher, the educators, it's pretty good. It's really good. So, Kathy, you will have access. That will continue. This is not something that's going to chop off. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, you guys have a great day. We're almost to Friday, to the weekend. And if you need anything or need help, let me know. In the meantime, I'll research some of these things, Hector, the tour, and then I will email you and let you know the answers to those. All right. Everybody, have a good one.